Hey everybody, it's Dr. Andy from Twin Cities Movement and Sure Footed. I'm just going to go over 3 or 4 mobilizations that I like to do before most workouts, but I think these particular ones work really well for a pre-cycling routine or a routine to do before a cycling strength workout. So it's going to basically mobilize the body in a way that prepares it for cycling in particular, I think. So, I mean, obviously any mobilization is going to work for any activity, but cycling places certain stresses on the body that are different from others. And so we want to focus on that. Primarily that would be upper back and shoulders. We want to be able to have ourselves nice and stable and supported in the upper back and shoulders. We want the hips to be nice and mobile in both flexion and extension, in addition to having the stabilization of not doing a whole lot of side-to-side rocking, as that's a leak of power and potentially injurious to the, I suppose, ankles, knees, and hips. So we're going to be covering a few of these in such a way that you can do it with limited equipment. So obviously I have a chair here. Most of this is body weight type stuff or just movement. So this is going to be something that focuses more on that, although we do have a chair as a prop here, so that's going to help. You can also use a wall. I just have limited wall space with which to do this on film, so the chair is what I'm using for that. So the first one that we're going to do is for the upper back and the shoulders. Is to kind of open things up here and give us a little bit more extension into the upper back. So I'm going to stay on both knees here and just have my hands, and I'm actively pressing into the chair here. I'm not just resting my hands on there. I'm actively engaged, pressing through my hypothenar area here, so through the pinky pad of my hands and then the thumb pad. So I'm kind of creating that tripod that I like to talk about, and then at the same time I am spreading the floor with my knees, and then I'm going to sink in between my arms. And then as I come back up, I'm going to make sure that I'm fully engaged again through the shoulders and through the hips. So we'll do probably between 5 and 10 of those. I think depends on how much time you have and how much other work you're going to do beforehand. So the next one I want to do, I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to get in our old favorite 90-90 position here. Switch to the other side. Good. So I've gotten hip external rotation there. And I've gotten the upper back and the shoulders a little bit. So now I'm going to get into a half kneeling position. I want to get some thoracic rotation here as well. So I'm going to hinge forward, and my foot is actively planted into the floor, so I'm not collapsing in or out here. So I'm hinging forward, trying to keep my torso nice and stable. Plant both hands actively into the floor, and then rotate up towards the ceiling. Still in this position, I'm going to bring this foot forward just a little bit more, and then I'm going to lunge and open my torso up this way. Try and keep myself nice and tall. This also helps with the ankles. So you get a little bit of ankle dorsiflexion with that particular movement. I'm gonna go onto this side and do the same thing. So hinge forward, actively plant both hands back flat. Good. So now from there, I've mobilized the inside of my hips, my ankles, and thoracic rotation fairly well. I'm going to do one more here, kind of from this place, where I want to get flexion and extension of the hips. So I get back into that position, but now I'm going to drive my heels straight back. I'll switch sides here. Good. So in the coming weeks, we'll probably go over a few different modifications that you can do to either make that easier or make that harder. If those movements are too easy for you, maybe it's not the best use of your time, so maybe we can do some things to make it a little bit more difficult, so we help them flow together, increase the challenge in other ways, add weight to it, things like that. There are lots and lots and lots of different options. So over the coming weeks, we will make sure and share that with you. I do want to mention that that we are working on, or that we have a kind of a cycling off-season training program that we're putting together with Bush Builds and Surefooted working together to kind of create a full program with trainer work, so indoor cycling work, and then strength training at the same time. So it's like a fully put together program that you can follow along with for a couple months, and we have that put together as a package. So stay tuned for more information there. And yeah, thanks for watching.